Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. I was just looking at rent prices. I do own my house. I have a locked in fixed 30-year mortgage, and I bought it a little while ago, some years ago. So I was preparing for this time to come where home prices go up and then eventually rent prices go up quite dramatically. And I've got in the background here, I've got some data. It's where I am located, Colorado Springs, Colorado. And some years ago, I was looking at things and I was like, man, this is going to tighten up inventory and then prices are going to skyrocket. And then rent's going to skyrocket, depending on how tight the housing market gets. And I was talking to some neighbors. I've got a couple of people who rent homes. My next door neighbor, actually both neighbors, they rent their houses. The one neighbor went on a vacation, or not vacation, he got a new job overseas, and he's renting his house out for a couple of years. Now, the people who moved in, the renters, I was talking to some of them. One of them tried buying a house. It was probably very similar to the house that he is renting right now in that type of price range, $400,000 to $700,000. He was trying to buy a house. He tried on 5 different homes. He didn't get any of them. The last house that he tried on was a pretty nice house that he liked. He said that he bid for it. It was like $35,000 over the asking is what he put in. He wasn't even close to getting the house. The person who got the house was an all-cash offer. It was $125,000 over the listing price of the house. That's who ended up getting it. And I don't know what the price of the house was. I didn't ask. So he's renting, and his family's there. Other people are renting next door, and a couple down from me. They're all renting because they can't buy a house. Now, I was kind of just thinking about this, and I know about 3 or 4 other people that aren't buying homes. They're just saving money because the market's too hot. And they continue to say, I'm not going to buy. I'm going to wait till the frenzy ends, and then I'll start looking. Well, here's the problem. I've got 3 people just on my block that are renting that are waiting for the market to, quote, cool down. I've got people at work that are waiting for the market to cool down. Well, if you've got all these people that are waiting to buy and it's super hot right now, how long are you willing to wait? Because we now have all these people that are renting that said, I'll wait for it to cool down. Well, that's all pent up demand that's going to be a year from now. And I know many people that are in that boat, that are in that camp. And they're trying to build like heck. They're building apartments. They're building homes. They're building townhouses. They're building all over the place here. Now, I'm just trying to think what I would do in their situation. And looking at what I would be looking at, I think I would continue to try to buy something, anything, and lock in my rates. Not just the rates, but lock in a house, lock in my expenses, lock in all that stuff. Because I don't think it's going to get easier. I think it's going to remain pretty difficult. And even if the market cools down, I don't know how much it's going to appreciate, but let's say we appreciate 10 to 20% this next year. We were up 23 or 24% this past year. And now, if you still have to bid with these other people, you could be bidding from a much higher base level. And if people are still bidding 20, 30, 40,000 over asking, you're basically buying the same house that you could right now, maybe, might still be more in the future, and those interest rates could be higher. So your affordability is going to continue to decline if you've got this much competition in, they're all in the game. They all want a piece, and there's nowhere near enough homes here. Not even close. I mean, this is a free for all. There might be homes, like decent, cheaper homes. They may get a lot of offers, like 50 offers. They're all like ridiculous amounts. So I don't even I'm glad I'm not in the market for a house. That's what I'm glad for. Now, these people that are now, I could have a jaded view. I'm in Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is a hot market in comparison to other markets, so I need to keep that in my mind. But I'm just glad I'm not in this market. I don't want to be in it. I didn't. It was hot even when I was buying back some years ago, and I was like, man, this is going to get really bad. But I just wanted to share some data here. Yeah, actually, I got to shut me off. All right, so here's some data here. This is in 2018, Colorado Springs. This is rent. So this is the most significant year-over-year rent changes in February of 2018. This is in February of 2018, year over year. So 6.5% in Colorado Springs, Colorado in 2018. It was flying higher here in Colorado Springs for rent prices. They were smoking higher. Now, looking at rent prices coming up, now if they put it at 0 in the beginning of 2020, and from that time frame, we were up maybe 3 or 4% here, and then all the way up 15% over this past year and a half. 15%. Our rent prices are skyrocketing because we don't have enough homes out there to buy. And what does that mean? That means that all these people are going to end up renting because they literally can't find anything to buy. And then what happens when you don't have enough homes? Well, if you don't have enough homes and these people aren't buying homes, well, everyone's going to be in a frenzy to start renting homes. So now we've got rent prices going through the roof at a pretty good clip. And this is your metrics on the housing market here in Colorado Springs. I'm just sharing this. This was August 7th for July. So this is July 2021. The average sale price is $501,000. The median sale price is $450,000. It's up 17.2% year over year on the average and 19.4% on the median. The total active listing count is 981, down almost 30%. Last year was 1,390. I think a month's worth of inventory is like 2,000, 2,100, somewhere in that range. We've got some new listings on. They're up a little bit, 10.5%, and sold is down because we just didn't have the inventory to sell. And I don't know, remember, this is new versus sold listings. I don't know what the total active listings. This is active listings, good. And then the days on the market is only 7 days. That's very, very low. It's down 65% from 20 days. 7 days, I don't even know how, the house goes up, house is sold. It's super quick. And some of them, they keep it open longer in order to get a whole bunch of offers. And then they just sort through a bunch of offers and just give it to probably one of the best quality offers that there is. May not be the highest, but a grand or two lower with a known good close is probably a little bit better. And a lot of people are buying all cash offers. They're not no loans. They're not. They're foregoing inspections. They're doing all sorts of stuff. So they're trying to lock in these homes, and I'm just glad I'm not in it. So if this market seems like a top that some people were talking about, I think they're crazy. I don't think I've ever seen the market this tight ever, at least not during my life. This market is so much hotter than what it was in 2006. It makes 2006 look like it was nothing. Because in 2006, it was all loans. This is not loans. There's just not enough homes, period. Not even close. We've got like 20 buyers to every house that goes up. And then it's just a free-for-all, and then this bidding wars all ensue. And then you're lucky if you get something. At least that's what I think. So I wanted to go over housing market. I wanted to say that it's very strong. I gave you an example of Colorado Springs. I doubt this is like this everywhere. But I bet you there's a lot of places that are like this. On a nationwide, we are very low on active listings. And that's what matters, is total active listings. Because you can have a bunch of inventory, but if it's all already sold, it doesn't matter. It's what's available to the market and how fast they're moving. This is probably the lowest it's ever been in terms of inventory, in terms of days on the market. in terms of sales price increases, on and on and on. Do I think that the sales price increases are going to remain at the levels they're at? Probably not. They are going to cool off at some point. We are probably at the hottest portion of the real estate market, is when you go from a recovery phase, the inventory gets completely worked off. That's basically where we're at. And then we go into an expansionary phase. And that's where they have to kick on the housing starts and really start, really starting to have to build new homes. And we're right at that inflection point right now. So I think we've got some time for commodities. Remember, a lot of this stuff's lagged a little bit. It's lagged by a year or two. When the expansion phase starts to kick up, when we see permits, so number one is permits go up, and then housing starts usually follow, and they're not 100% correlated to each other, but they're very close. But the permits will go up, housing starts will go up, and then that inflation is going to come. So I'm prepared for it. The housing market looks incredibly strong. I can't wait to see what August 2021 brings. They usually release it maybe September 4th, September 5th, somewhere in that range. I'll present it on the channel once that stuff comes out and keep you guys updated on the housing market. But right now, it is smoking hot. And I don't see it slowing down until we get some sort of inventory. And it's going to take some time. If you guys like this content, give me give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.